Welcome back to Keeping It Real on Purpose, the place where truth, trauma, and transformation collide. I'm your host, Edna White, and today we're flipping the script yet again. This is Where Are They Now? Our raw and revealing reunion series that brings back some of the real ones who left a mark on this platform and on your hearts. They've lived, they've grown, and they're here to keep it real about what's happened since they sat in this seat as a guest on the show. No PR stunts, no elevated pitches, just real people, real talk, and real purpose. So let's get into it. Now, as you guys can see, we have a lot, and behind the scenes, we have a few more people coming on. So we're going to give them an opportunity just to introduce themselves or reintroduce themselves to you right now. So we're going to call on Dr. Joe first. I can't hear you.
You know what? You would think I would know this by now. There's always something. I'm Dr. Joe. I'm a former psychologist, and currently I own a women's wellness business called Tula Soul, where I am a holistic coach and energy worker and also a yoga teacher, and I teach meditation as well. I do workshops, and I'm going to host a retreat, and I do women's circles monthly women's moon circles. And I just co-authored a book. It's called Start Over, Turn Any Loss into a Sensational Comeback with Marco Robinson. And I'm co-authoring another book. It's a poetry book. And I've published poems. And then I have a memoir in progress that is way too many pages. So I'm going to have to edit that down. But a lot of things are really kind of in motion right now for me. So I feel really excited about that. Ultimately, one of my dreams is to open a full-time retreat center for women that can be a place where women who are in domestic violence situations can live until they can find another safe haven. And I think for a lot of coaches or healers, it's hard to find a place for them to heal because of different, it's direct payment. So I want to rotate healers in this type of space so that they can provide their services, very important services, in a location that's consistent. So that's me. That's where I'm at. And I have a podcast right now. So yeah, thank you so much, Edna. Yeah. I appreciate you.
You're welcome. No problem. Okay, so thank you very much for that. I am going to demolish. I know that he told me how to say his name, but it starts with an E, and I'm not even going to try right now because I always botch it up. So I want him to introduce himself, and I don't want to be embarrassed. So is it Etienne? How do you say it?
That's
Come on,
right.
you can tell me.
My name is
introduce yourself.
Etienne Labuschagne, and I'm a South African. I'm in Pretoria. I have a children's book which is on the market internationally. It's called Bedtime Stories for Clever Kids. I'm a lawyer by training, and I'm a High Court judge. I also have a historical fiction novel, which is written in Afrikaans and is being read on the national radio station at the moment as a late night book reading. Yes, I'm focused on children. I've just returned from 3.5 weeks in France and flushed with the light of that lovely country. And I've brought back a bit more of France in my body than I should. And that's part of my spring planning, to get rid of it.
Okay, that's good. Very good. All right, thank you. Okay, Dr. Diana Ziegler.
Yes, good evening. I'm Lady Dr. Diana Ziegler, President and CEO of Z Creators. Z Creators is a multimedia production company as well as a consulting company. I do everything from strategic planning to assessment, communications, and ethics workshops. I am also Professor Emerita of Florida A&M University, where I've spent between FAMU and the University of Tennessee, Knoxville, I've spent nearly 40 years in higher education in journalism, communications, and broadcasting. Where am I now? I'm still promoting my brother-in-law's book, Midnight Train from Georgia, who is William Guest of the iconic group Gladys Knight and the Pips. In fact, I just left Detroit last week, so it was nice to be with some of the Motown legends family, as well as my sister and her kids, which I call them all the Pipettes. And basically what I'm doing now, I'm still promoting a book. I'm doing a lot of interviews. I'm hoping to generate some interest in a film and also continue to do my work. I'm also a songwriter, producer. So I'm also loving going back to my music and getting a chance since retirement to do some of the things I love and enjoy.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. Dr. Rita Lewis. Oh, Louise, I'm sorry. Dr. Rita Louise, I'm sorry. Excuse me. I can't hear you. You gotta turn the volume on.
All right. I'm Dr. Rita Louise. I'm a naturopathic physician and medical intuitive and a friendly neighborhood psychic chick. I work with people, you know, on their physical issues, emotional issues. I mean, pretty much anything that they want to come to me for. I do a lot of work with people on trauma and trauma recovery. I'm a trauma survivor myself, and so can really feel into that place with them. I've written 7 books, going from talking about ghosts and ancient mysteries to a book on narcissism, the empath and the narcissist, one about finding happiness through mindfulness, as well as 2 books on metaphysics. I host a podcast, Thursday Night Live with Dr. Rita Louise, every Thursday night on YouTube. And it's interesting because right now, when you sent this to me, I'm like, okay, what have I been doing? So I'm really in a giant transition right now. I just finished, people look at me and they're like, you did what? So I just literally this month finished this major restoration of a house, which was scary when you walked in. Put in all new electrical, plumbing, and did all the sheetrock work and did, I'm going to say, over 50% of it by myself. And so have finished that project and am waiting for Spirit to say, this is your next big adventure. Because I never know.
Okay, that's cool. Awesome. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right, let's get to Mr. And he's smiling at me. I can't mess his name in. Daniel Kelty. I can't mess that up. So.
Hi, and thank you so much for having me on again. Oh my gosh, so much has happened since we last connected. I guess my 2 biggest updates is I just published my memoir called When the Bedbugs Bite, and it is a memoir of my queer story growing up in a conservative Appalachian family. Talks about my time in the military under Don't Ask, Don't Tell, and my journey of becoming an adoptive dad of my 3 beautiful children. So I'm trying to promote that. And it was such a labor of love. It took me 3 years to write it. And so much healing happened when I was writing it. And so much so that I've decided to switch from my psychotherapy private practice over to a queer life coaching program that specifically aims to support queer people that are dealing with either estrangement from their families or strained relationships due to their true identity. And so I have a 12-week life coaching program with an additional year-long program for folks who need extra help, just help them navigate those things. And I think it's such an important thing to do right now, given the government shifts that are happening in our society, taking away people's rights and taking away their space to be seen and feel and heard. So I'm really hoping that the combination of my book and my life coaching program will help people feel heard and seen in spaces where they aren't always welcome.
Well, that's awesome. Thanks so much. Thank you. Angel and Rocio.
Hello, everyone. It's a pleasure to be with so amazing crowd. My name is Rocio Aquino.
And I'm Angel Orengo. We're a husband and wife, or wife and husband team. We, ex-corporate executives in the world of entertainment, had a profound transformation and decided that we wanted to share everything we've learned with the world. And so our goal is to do it through storytelling. We believe the power of storytelling is gigantic. We've been doing it only for a few thousand, if not millions of years, in which we've been telling stories to each other. And so we decided to write a novel. It's a self-help book disguised as a novel. It is the story of 5 women who go to a retreat center, and there they learn 5 key lessons: awareness, gratitude, forgiveness, acceptance, and intention. And in the process of learning those, they learn how to live better lives. We are involved in, the book has been out for a year and a half. We're involved in promoting the book. We're also working on turning it into a play and a number of other events, all around the impact that storytelling can have in healing. And we practice conscious living, not only as individuals, as a couple, but as a family as well. We have 2 daughters, and our goal is to, not dissimilar to some of the other comments already, through our example, to bring hope and enlightenment and lessons and tools that people can use to be the best version of themselves that they can be. Thank you for having us.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Kevin Heyer, Esquire.
Yes, thank you for having me as well. You and I only spoke 3 weeks ago, so what I'll do here is just reintroduce myself to your guests. What I do is I lead a nonprofit in Philadelphia called the Higher Calling Foundation, HIRE, that helps highly motivated people in recovery get a second chance in the workplace. And I draw on my background as a labor and employment lawyer to help folks do that. And we provide services insurance doesn't cover. What makes our work really particularly unique is that I do this with my former law firm that I exited over my own addiction to methamphetamine. I do have a book coming out, Tell Me True Tina. It's not out yet, but it will be. And I tell my story of what it was like as a well-educated upper middle class professional who at 40 found himself in the clutch of a serious drug addiction that I'd never even used drugs until this happened. So I'm out there, promoting the importance of recovery-friendly workplaces, and I do this with the same firm I exited, with them kind of modeling, what are some of the things that a recovery-friendly workplace looks like. We do training on what are the legal and business cases for a recovery-friendly workplace, and I'm just incredibly proud of the work that Obermayer, Redmond, Maxwell, and Hipple and the Higher Calling Foundation do, and just am very flattered to be here, and I'm a passionate advocacy for recovery.
Awesome. That's awesome. Thank you, Kevin. Okay, we're going to have Matthew. Where are you? Where are you? Okay. I'm sorry, Justin Marlowe, Matthew. Justin Marlowe. Where do I get Matthew from? See, I'm confused. Where are you? Okay. I'm sorry, Justin Marlowe, Matthew. Justin Marlowe. Where do I get Matthew from? See, I'm confused. Where are you? Okay. I'm sorry, Justin Marlowe, Matthew. Justin Marlowe. Let's see. Okay. All right. Did you hear me, Justin? Hello, Justin. Are you there? Hello. Are you here? Hello, Justin. Can you hear me? I can't hear you. Justin, let me see. Can you hear me, Justin? Okay, I can't hear you. Okay. All right, we're going to come back to that. Can everyone hear me?
I can.
Everybody hear me?
Yes,
Okay, it's Justin. Justin, I can't hear you. All right, we'll come back. All right. We'll go to Deb. Deb, we'll go to you. Deborah Rudell.
Hi, everybody. I am in such amazing company this afternoon. You've all done so many things. I am currently in Canada on a book tour. As you can see, I'm very mobile right now. And I am promoting my very first book, a memoir, Grit and Grace, which is about building a boat and sailing, but also about finding the ways in your life that maybe you had blame or disillusionment and how to move through that. And I've had a really great time just last week in a book signing place, big place in downtown Vancouver, and saw lots and lots of people and had amazing discussions and conversations with people. It's a very fun venue to have a book and be able to go out and talk to people about what's really important in their life, like you do, Edna, and all of you on the show. Anyways, and in my real life, my other life, I'm a professor of dental hygiene at a college in San Diego.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So, Justin, can you hear us now? Justin?
Can you hear me
I can't hear you.
now?
Okay, there you go.
You hear me?
All right, introduce yourself.
I'm so sorry because there's 3 options for the microphone and I was on the wrong one. So my apologies to you guys for that.
It's all right.
Yeah, so I've been with Edna twice on these podcasts, and it's been amazing. And I thank you guys so much and her for the platform. I am an author, and my memoir, Perfect Strangers, Echoes of a Black Suburban Youth, was released in August of 2024. 2024. And it centers around my experiences as an African-American in suburban society. I often refer to it as exemplifying my experiences as an ethnic minority and an within an economic majority. So I felt like my experiences were warranted and very unique, and they cover my life from my time as a toddler until I was roughly 17 years old. So yeah, that's what I've been promoting for the better part of the past year. At the moment, I'm also in the midst of finishing up my second project, a Black science fiction novel called The Overlord. I'm about to start pitching that to agents in the coming weeks and or months. So yeah, that's kind of, and I've been doing, tons of podcasting, interviews, magazine interviews, et cetera, in order to, increase my brand and spread sort of the word of what I'm doing out there to as many people as I possibly can.
Awesomeness. Thank you so much. All right. So I think what we're going to do is have the first ones come up. I'm putting everyone up, and we're going to ask 2 questions, one at a time, of course. And you just give us feedback on what you've experienced for our audience, because we do have some onlookers today, which is pretty cool. So, and then we'll have a second round with the second set of folks. All right. So here's your question. Are you ready? What's one thing you believed when you first came on the show that you no longer believe now, and why? Anyone can take it if they want to.
I'll go. You ask such great questions, Edna. I love it. Yeah, and I was only on your show like a month ago, and
yeah.
Since then, I've done some book signing events, and I would have to say that I thought that it would just be, I'd get more and more used to speaking and being with people and being out there with this book, and what I found out isn't true. It's different every time and keeps changing, and I have to keep, not inventing, but committing or reasserting, re-clarifying what my mission is and what I really am about and doing. Now that the book's done, I'm kind of in this limbo of there's promotion and then there's what's your next step. So I'm in that limbo and learning about that. Thank you.
Yeah, I think that's all of us. We're all reinventing ourselves because things are always changing, as one of the guests said. In this climate, it always changes. Now we're in a new climate now, so now everything's changing.
Yep.
I think I
Yep.
came around, and maybe you all have. I came around when there were grants for book, people who wrote books. Now there's none. So it's and that we have to change. We have to be able to like kind of switch around, right?
Yep.
So there it is. Who's next? Want to say the question again? Okay, I'm picking now. Joe, let's go.
Thanks. I thought that my first book would be my memoir. And then I had this opportunity to co-author a book. Marco Robinson wanted to do this compilation of people's stories of overcoming something and what they learned from the experience. So I wanted to write about my recovery from anorexia, because it's been a really huge part of my life, but it gave me so many gifts. And I strongly believe that we heal through hearing other people's stories, kind of like we were talking about. And I know that there's a lot of people who struggle with eating disorders and disordered eating and body image. And I think that I want to offer a story of hope and healing, and I want to inspire other people, and also convey the seriousness of the eating disorder and my experience. So I am really honored to be able to share my story with so many other people's stories of survival and healing, and in different ways. And I've met so many people from around the world, and I get to meet them in person now because there's a tour. So I'm so grateful for this experience. And then I also get to contribute poems to a women's poetry book. So it's just been a wonderful, amazing experience that I didn't think I would get to have. So I'm very grateful. And my memoir, whatever, it'll come around whenever it's time.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that always happens.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm still. That's all. I've been writing that since 2003, and it's, which is kind of cool because it's kind of a live entry like memoir. So
yeah. Okay,
that can end anytime. Thank you so much.
Right. You're welcome, Dr. Diana. I don't think I hear you. I don't hear you.
You're not, can you hear me now?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, I was saying that after I left the academic world of writing books, I thought, okay, I'm transitioning into this commercial writing as a tribute to my brother-in-law, who was, one of Gladys Knight and the Pips in this midnight train from Georgia. And I found myself really back in the classroom in these interviews where I'm teaching about Motown, I'm teaching about civil rights, I'm teaching about the 50s, 60s, 70s. That I just, without thinking, thought that, wow, this is something that people will remember. Well, they do remember, depending on the age. But also, recently, the Ed Sullivan story, I don't know if anybody has seen that, Sunday's Best. And it's really puts that thread together about crossing over from R&B music to pop music, and everything that did, and Gladys Knight and the Pips are in there. So that's also gave me an opportunity to say, well, he's teaching about what happened during that time, and it's very, very important. And then after I said I was just leaving, I just left Detroit, and the Motown legacies that are there, they're still really excited that I still, even though I talk about in Midnight Train from Georgia, Gladys Knight and the Pips, but I talk about the Four Tops and the Temptations and all the other groups that I kind of grew up with since I was 11 years old with my brother-in-law. So it's been, I'm still teaching. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. I'm still teaching, and we're still learning. And that, I think, is a pleasure, because I'm having an opportunity to use all of my skills.
Oh, that's great. That's really great. Etienne?
Yes, Edna, when I first spoke to you, It was about the book, Bedtime Stories for Clever Kids. And at that time, I was thinking, I would share that this book introduces complex themes for children in ways that they could grasp them. And in the course of our discussion, you asked me about my history growing up under apartheid in South Africa, etc. And I realized something, and that is that even in the stories that I was telling, what travels and what connects is a shared humanity, a shared warmth. And I experienced that while I was in France now recently. I'll tell you a little story. I was painting on the streets of Paris in a suburb, and I was painting the landscapes, and I was handing them out to residents. And a father spoke to me, and I saw he had a beautiful daughter, and I said, I'd like to do a sketch of her. And I did a sketch that night and said I'd give it to him if it's any good. And my phone didn't work, so I couldn't get hold of him. 10 days later, I'm in the south of France in a gallery, and a lady's looking at my sketches, sees the sketch of this little girl in Paris and says, this is lovely. What's the story? I said, I can't find the father. She says, this is nonsense. This is France. I can find him for you. She looks at the name and the number, phones him and arranges. I'll meet him in Paris and hand him the sketch. But she speaks to him on the phone for a long time. And in Paris, I meet the father. He tells me his story, and he and his wife are separated, and little girl's with her mother at the moment. He's headed to the south of France, loves the sketch, and he says, by the way, I'm going to the south to meet that woman who spoke to me on the phone. Now, I thought that was a little story that I didn't plan, how it ended up being a matchmaker. And I was just painting on the streets of
That was
Paris.
good. That was good. That was good. That was very good.
A little bit of kindness, a little bit of warmth, and there you see some synchronicity kicks in. Yeah. And I think we have an interconnectedness that I didn't realize, and I see it more and more. And what travels is just, I think, common kindness.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Thank you. Dr. Rita.
Okay. So my thing is like so totally different. So my personality is always about going and doing and having projects and having something on my plate. And over the last couple of years, I've been really more about what am I supposed to be doing? And so the last few months has really been this exercise in just being and allowing and not rushing into like, someone goes, well, you could go do this or you could go do this. And it's like, if I wanted a project to do, I have like these lists of things that I could work on, but they're not filling my soul, they're not coming from my heart. And people keep telling me that if you just are patient and you allow, then that thing, that next step will come to you and it'll be the perfect thing. I've done some pretty hard stuff. This one has been actually really kind of challenging of not allowing my ego to jump in the front and go, hey, you can work on this. Hey, you can work on this, and get all involved in it. And then,
that's
after
all of us.
I
think that's all of us. We do that. We kind of tend to jump around.
Well, yeah. So it's been an interesting journey, and I have like all these potential things, but the part that's been interesting is nothing has said yes, and I'm going to go back to this house thing. I was kind of like playing around with the idea of buying a house to work on because I like doing that kind of stuff. And there was like no question. I went to this house, I saw it, I turned around and bought it, and I'm waiting for that piece of inspiration to come. In the meantime, I'm a little bored, I have to tell you. It's like I'm cleaning my house. That tells you how bored I am. I'm cleaning my house. So
that's great. That's great. That's really good. That's good stuff. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Now, your second question is, what personal development rule or trend do you think is complete BS? I'll give you time to think, but I'll go back to Dr. Louise.
So actually, I even have an answer. So in my book,
you want me to come back to you?
It was me all along. I talk about affirmations, and so people sit there and talk about the law of attraction. And they suggest if I think about it hard enough, if I make a vision board, if I do these things, then like God's going to give me a car, or a new house or all this stuff, which is crap. I mean, it doesn't work, on two different points. It's like one is your vibration, your inner space. See, this is the part I really want.
That's good.
Has to be in the right vibration. And so if you're like,
that's good.
please give me a new car, you're never going to get a new car because you're coming from one.
That's good.
But one other piece to that, people sit there and like put out affirmations. And so my personal favorite one is like, I'm beautiful and rich and I have really good hair, whatever their affirmation is. And I found for me that when I sat there and put like all of these things that I wanted, to feel in an affirmation, all it did was bring up all of my negative thinking. And so I had to stop doing it.
Oh, that's good.
Okay, I'm done.
That's good. That was good. Etienne?
I think I'm going to say something a bit controversial. I think there's a trend.
Go ahead, I'm waiting.
I think wokeness is extremely tiresome.
That's good. That's good.
I think there's a backlash to it. I'm all for respect and for showing respect, for people can be who they are and believe what they wish and claim what they want. But as soon as it starts determining how I must speak, it becomes invasive. And I feel my borders have been challenged, and that's I don't like that. I'll show respect to all. And
Gotcha.
But I think the respect goes the other way around. No one has a unique right to be offended. It's as though I don't want to be around eggshells with people. I just like to be kind to them and show them respect and expect it in return.
I like that. That's good. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Dr. Diana.
Well, one of the things that I used to always tell my students, and I even have a big sort of plaque on my desk that says dream big. But you can dream big, but if you don't act, you are not going to have the end result that you intended. Okay, so you have to get up. They got the saying, you too can be like Mike. You got to get up and do something. So you just cannot just sit and dream. And I have realized, and hopefully I planted something else in my students' heads, that second part, that you are responsible for your wishes, hopes, and dreams. You can have your faith, you can have all of that, and you will be blessed by the Lord. But if you do not get up and do something about it and act, it is just a dream that you're sitting around in a big cloud.
Well, that's a good one. That's
so
really
you
good.
have to get up and do something.
Yeah, absolutely. I like that. Thank you, Doctor. All right. Dr. Joe, what do you got?
For me, one thing that I learned through personal experience is that we can't just talk our way out of trauma. We have to be embodied and we have to discharge our trauma. We have to be able to be in our body and use interoceptive awareness, and we have to be able to shake it off, and we have to get ugly, and we have to realize people have to get comfortable with ugly. Like trauma looks ugly. Like I have to shake it out. And I mean, I've had seizures in public, and makes people uncomfortable because we are so rigid. We are so uncomfortable with bodies and with any kind of movement. And I think we need to talk about what trauma looks like and how it lives in the fascia, and how we are so caught up in keeping things tight and not feeling and not being allowed to express ourselves. So along with talking about everything, we also need to feel it, and we need to express it through movement, through dance, through all of that stuff, and learn about how to use movement to heal. Not just individually, but collectively as a species and as humans dance in circle and gather.
That's good. That's good. I like that. Well, Dr. Joe and
One
I
more
know
thing.
each other. Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, Resmaa Menakem's book, My Grandmother's Hands, he talks about racial healing, and how that is about movement too, and somatic practices. Got to plug that.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Yeah, I love dancing. Dancing is a great way. You always got to move. You move, you feel better. Absolutely. Thank you, Dr. Joe. All right. We got Deb. Come on, Deb.
I'm going to piggyback a little bit about what Dr. Joe said, because I grew up in the 60s and 70s and all the airy-fairy stuff. And that used to be real for me. And then life has taught me you have to go much deeper. So even though there's truth in the words, there's a lot more depth involved in going into introspection, really knowing yourself, which is not just a few words. That's a very deep thing to go into, which I didn't realize early on in my life. And like was previously said, so there's that deep introspection with the mind, the heart, the soul, and then along with that, the movement, the dance, and being willing to get ugly, as was said. It's so true. It's messy business waking up. Yeah.
Messy business of healing, right? Healing is messy. It's so messy.
Yeah. And so worth it. And so worth it.
All right. So all you guests, could you please in the comments, not in the private chat, but in the comments, could you put your information on how to contact you for anyone that goes in the chat or anyone who is watching, so that they have some contact with you. Those chats stay active and alive. So if you guys can, take a break, little break there, and just put your comments in there. Your name, your business, all that great stuff. All right. So don't forget, I'm just giving you that. All right. So let's see. Do we have everybody up that's been up? Right. We got Deb. Deb, you talked already. Who am I missing? Everybody's out. Okay, Deb, you got to go. All right. Let's see. All right. So we got the second group up here. All right. You ready for your question? Okay. Okay, what was your wake-up call this year, and what did it teach you about how you move in the world? Let's see. Anyone can go. Anyone? Okay, I guess I have to pick. Kevin?
Okay. I'm finishing the final moment of putting my info in the box.
Okay.
So the pending question is, what was something that I came to a realization of this year that has changed how I carry myself and how I approach the world?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Well, this may or may not shock you. I'm going to come back to recovery a little bit. There's a prayer we say in recovery circles, particularly 12-step, but it's accepted beyond in the secular pathways. The serenity prayer. God grant us the serenity to accept the things we cannot change, the courage to change the things we can, and the wisdom to know the difference. And that meant a lot to me before this year, but there's a lot of unpleasantness in the world. Whatever view one has, I'm certainly not going down those particulars, but the world is on fire, no matter how you see it. And I've really tried to learn to just deeply embrace that idea, that there is only so much we can do, and to let the universe unfold, knowing that it will play out as it's meant to, even if it doesn't make sense in the moment. But I get a lot of comfort from that. And I think that's the answer to that is
Okay. All right. Justin?
To, just being in kilter with the world, meditation, um, mindfulness, presenteeism, that stuff.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you.
Sure.
All right, Justin, what do you say?
Can you guys hear me now? Good. Am I good?
Yes.
All
I can
right.
hear you now.
That moment for me came like the week after that I had my book published, and it was like, okay, stuff's getting real now. People are consuming your product. People are going to analyze your words. They're going to, if I mean, I'm not saying like I'm famous or anything like that, but like if they read your book or they see you in public, they might ask you questions about what you've written. You are no longer resided to your own thoughts 100% of the time, because you have now put forth an effort to be a public figure, and your thoughts are now for public consumption. So that was a little eye-opening. I'm not going to say it was tough, but it's been a little difficult, because every so often someone will just see you and they'll be like, hey, in your book you said this, can I ask you? And I'm just like, oh man, I'm just trying to like get a drink at the bar, and like but that was an eye-opening sort of moment, and I guess one that I should relish in, because I would love it for it to get like 10 times that, because I would love to be that well renowned. But it was something at first that was kind of a struggle, a little bit of a struggle.
Daniel, thank you very much. Daniel, what do you say? Can't hear you. Can't hear you.
Okay, now can you hear me? Can
Yes.
you hear me now? Okay.
Yeah.
We are all have, we're not tech people. That's why we're touchy-feely people. That's why we're not. So I apologize for that. I think my biggest wake-up call was when I started writing my book, my memoir, When the Bed Bugs Bite. I thought I was writing it for myself. I thought I was writing it to tell my story. But halfway through, I kind of realized that I was still writing from a place of needing to justify my pain. And that was kind of a wake-up call for me, because I saw how much of my life had become spent trying to be understood by people who had no intention of seeing me clearly. So it taught me that I didn't need their permission to heal. And that shift changed everything, because I stopped writing for validation and I started writing for liberation, for mine and other queer people that grew up like I did. So now I move through the world less focused on being acceptable and more focused on being real. And that realization is what also inspired my Boldly Queer life coaching program, so I can help others reclaim their truth without apology. So my story didn't end with rejection, it began there.
That's good. Oh, that's really good. All right, thank you. Angel and Rocio.
Edna, has been absolutely fantastic, because I've been in this search and this process for 33 years. And really, what I discovered, and this happened 2 weeks ago, that at one point, after really removing all the pain, healing myself, healing my lineage, having a fantastic relationship with my husband, then with my kids, having all my projects going and going and going, and then seeing how the universe is loving me every part of the process. But the best part has been to understand that I'm really loved, and any thought that doesn't
That's good.
is in that vibration doesn't belong to me. So I'm really attuned in the vibration of love. And when I begin to see the thoughts coming at me, like entities or anything out of myself, I can recognize myself. I can recognize them already when they come, and it's like a fear. And they go all the way to my body. And because I don't have any more wounds or shame or anything, they doesn't resonate and doesn't stick. So I really am able right now to see it clearly, and it's so beautiful. So
That's great.
that's the lately that I've been doing. So it's a pleasure, really. A great experience
that's
that I
great.
can recommend to anyone.
You know, if I could add to that, Edna,
That's beautiful.
at the end, the
Sure.
learning, I think, it's like a handy person. Do you have the right toolbox? And if you have the right toolbox, then you can pretty much tackle any job ahead of you, any job in front of you. And what we've learned is
Right.
really what is the toolbox that we have available to deal with the challenges that life throws at us, because it keeps throwing them. And they come and they come. But once in a while, this is almost like the Matrix movie. The bullets come, but one day you just are able to raise your hand and the bullets stop in front of you because you're no longer impacted by them. Because sometimes there's not even a
Right.
bullet in front of you. And so the moment you learn that toolbox and you have it present and you use it and you learn how to use those tools, your life begins to change because you begin to experience life differently.
Right. That's great. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
What
Thank
one
you.
word that you can say to me and to the audience that that resonated with you this whole year? What's one word? And tell me why.
For me,
So I'll go to
has
Kevin
been,
first. So go ahead.
okay.
Go ahead. Who's going first? I'm sorry. Was it what? Rocio, were you talking?
Yes, I can go
Go ahead.
because I
Go
have it
ahead.
super clear. In the moment that I discover harmony has been a key
Oh, that's
to
good.
understand that my thoughts, my words, my feelings, and my actions, everything is aligned in harmony. And that's when I feel when I'm not in harmony is, what is that? Is mine, or I need to let it pass? So is that give me clarity. So harmony gives me clarity. Thank you.
Okay. Awesome. Angel, you want to add to that? You got your own word? Okay. Angel, do you have your own word? No? Are you good?
For me, yes, I'm kind of good, but it really is peaceful. It's my neutrality. For me, for a long time, I didn't know, is what is it? And it's many people call it my center, my harmony. For me, is becoming neutral. It's so important to achieve neutrality in so many aspects of our lives because often we bring in energy into a situation, into a conversation. But if you come neutral, then you really got a better perspective of what's going on and how you can show up. Of course, if you can be in love and positiveness and all of that, that's fantastic. But if at the very least you can be
Right.
neutral, that is incredible because you really do relate with everything around you differently.
That's nice. Excellent. Thank you. Daniel?
I think mine would be perception because I've spent a lot of time and energy and blood, sweat, and tears being articulate about grieving the loss of my estranged family, while right under my nose, I had created this beautiful family of choice where my husband and I adopted these children. And I have a family most people would kill for. And so it's all about perception. And it's the family you create that is your true family.
That's beautiful. Love that. Okay, Kevin.
And can you repeat the question, please?
Only you. You bother me. What's one word that you had for this year that you can share with the audience and those that are listening today? One word, and why? Why you choose that word?
A hope. And I was going to say hope because there's such a need for it, you know, and if you don't have hope, you don't have anything else. So whatever our best hopes for the world are, and I'm sure they vary, we're still human beings with hopes and dreams that we want to see realized. And yeah, I think I would say hope.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Justin.
Well, for me, it's been, well, it's a phrase like seizing momentum, I guess. As a creative, like so many others on this platform this evening, I think it can be tough sometimes to get into your creative space and to really kind of vibe with what you're doing and buy into it and be confident within it. Maybe not for some, for me it is. For others it might be very different. But you know, when I feel like I'm getting or gaining a sense of momentum, that's when I feel myself kind of being pushed forward. And having, in the past 3 months, I've had 5 poems published. So, you know, with also respect to getting denied a lot of times as well. So, you know, having to internalize those senses of rejection, and at the same time, though, with those little pieces of momentum are what helps me continue to push forward and kind of like keeps me in a very confident space moving forward within an artistic discipline.
Awesome. Okay. Awesome. Thank you so much. All right. We have a different panel up here. And I know that you all have written some books, and you know, we have a lot of authors that kind of listen to, I know some others have written as well, but I just wanted you to share, like, number one, what made you? And number two, where do you think this is going for the next generation? What will your book, you know, bring for the next generation? Etienne, you want to go first?
Let me go. Well, your question was what made you, and
what made you write the book, and what do you expect it to do for the next generation?
What made me write the book was the need to communicate with children, and to communicate not just through simple narratives, but by hopefully helping them to deal with adversity, and to teach them life skills through stories. And these stories are multi-layered, so that in one story there's not just one theme, there's perhaps one theme, but a developing theme, so that the topic becomes larger and larger and larger. Right. So that the complexity of life in the sense is that what you're trying to prepare a child for, but also to prepare and equip to deal with it. Where is it going? I must say that one thing that we are perhaps underestimating is going to be, as far as writing is concerned, is the impact of artificial intelligence and the impact that it will have on the creative process. As far as storytelling is concerned, I mean, AI is now such that you can just speak to one of these apps and just give a few keywords and say, dish up a story for my 3-year-old. And it'll come up with something, and it's upsettingly good, but you have to discern that creative spark. I mean, that thing's got no soul, but it comes up with these wonderful ideas, and it's something you as author will have to deal with, because it's not going to be a competition. But I think your spark of humanity and your creative drives will connect with children in a way that a darn computer can't. And I think that that's where the challenge lies, to keep an authentic voice, because AI has a way, it's becoming recognizable because of it's a bit too slick. And I think that the human touch, etc., to deal with AI is going to be one of our challenges. And with children specifically, it's going to affect them in so many ways. And storytelling is going to be one of the first things that's going to be influenced by it.
Yeah, that's good. All right, thank you. Deb?
I was so busy listening to Etienne. What was the question?
I know, he mesmerizes you, right?
Story. Yeah, my story. Yeah, I think that I'm hoping I wrote my story because I wanted people to really love and embrace adventure, adversity, and know that going through it is worth it. And my hope is that going forward, this story will be an example, whether people just read it as an adventure story or they fall into the deeper part of it about the transformational part, about anything that you're identified with, like an identity of a victim or any kind of blame that you've got going on in your life and as part of your life that's keeping you in bondage. My hope is that this story, this book will carry on and show people a way through that.
Okay, beautiful. Thank you. Dr. Diana?
Yes, as I mentioned earlier, I lived this story since I was 11 years old. So one of the reasons why I wrote the story of my brother-in-law, William Franklin Guest, one of the founding members of Gladys Knight and the Pips, he really wanted his life to be lessons learned. The story at the beginning is really a coming of age story, tying into what I even talked about earlier about dreaming big. They had big dreams, but they acted and they performed and they made those dreams come true. But in the midst of that, there's a lot of history about the groups that came through the 50s, 60s, and 70s and the Motown records and all of that. And not only the lessons learned in there, that he really told me the stories, and he has messages to young people. He has messages about the entertainment industry, what to do, what not to do. And this was even after being the Pips and the group broke up. So his life after that, where he continued the legacy, because this book is about family, faith, friendship, the entertainment industry. And I keep saying it's not only the harmony of blending of voices, but the harmony of spirit. They were together 39 years. And they took a lot of glue and a lot of experiences and challenges that created that bond and kept them together so long. And, and it's a good story, not only because it's won 3 awards, but it's a good story because it really gives people faith, hope, and charity, because it's about love. And it's about light, walking in the light. And that's what kept them together. So that's why I'm sharing this story.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Dr. Diana. Okay, this next group, we're going to be talking about a little bit about trauma stopping us from doing what we plan to do, and how it can be scary. And I know, as you know, my audience is pretty much about that trauma and some relationship and trying to get some leadership in your life. If there's one thing that you could share with the audience today about where you are as far as, your profession and what you teach regarding trauma, what would it be?
I think for me, it would be that healing is not a straight line. It's a journey that's messy and unpredictable, and it doesn't happen on a linear process. It happens on a molecular level. It happens on a spiritual level, and it's not something that's a light switch. It's not an event. It's something we take on that alters how we look at ourselves and how the world sees us and how we see the world.
Thank you. Thank you, Daniel. Dr. Rita?
And I'm going to add on to what he just said, but a lot of people think that healing is hard, and it's not hard. It's way easier than dieting any day of the week. and that healing is possible. Sorry, I can't help myself. But that healing is possible. But the biggest challenge to healing is that you have to be willing to take the steps to do it. And sometimes things you're called to do, like saying no to someone and setting a boundary, can be the scariest, most white knuckle thing that you ever do in your life. But once you do it once and maybe have a little meltdown after, you've done it and you can move on and keep working that process. But it's really not hard. It's just, it's a practice, and you need to do the practice.
Absolutely. Dr. Joe?
Yeah. Well, I have to disagree. I think healing is the hardest work that you can do, but it's the most rewarding. My thing is radical compassion and fierce love. I think healing starts when you can begin to have compassion for yourself and others, and to begin to love yourself. And I suggest that people have a picture of themselves as a little baby or a little child, because we have a hard time loving ourselves as we are, because we look at all the faults and all the mistakes that we've made. But when you see a little picture of yourself as an infant, it's really hard to see the mistakes and the wrong things about a little baby. So if you can look at your infant self and love that, because that infant is still part of you. We are all the ages that we've ever been and ever will be. So that's a nice, gentle way to begin self-love. And then, that's just a simple practice, but fierce love for ourselves and for other people, recognizing that we're all the same being, we're all one, is it's been a helpful way for me to heal. And so that's what I teach. Yeah. And healing is not necessarily easy for everyone. But I find that the toughness and the hard process has made me the kind of person that I like to be, which is someone who has a lot of compassion and love for everyone, and has resiliency. So.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Dr. Rita, do you have a rebuttal or an addition?
Sure. And to me, it just really involves two parts: that you're persistent and that you work it, and that you have to be brave. It really, the process, it's hard. It's like communicate with your inner child. It's not a hard thing to do, but it requires a whole lot of compassion for yourself and bravery to do that. I mean, I remember the first time I did any kind of inner child work, and my little Rita was not a happy girl. And it took a couple of months of me just working with her that she actually would let me hold her hand. The process wasn't hard, but it's the practice of doing it and not getting discouraged by it, because you will get through it.
Awesome. Thank you both. Thank you very much. All right. So this next group here is going to be I'm going to be asking a few questions. So bear with me a second. I was too busy listening. And let's see. Okay. Is everybody there? Okay. So this is a question for you all. Now, I know what you all kind of like teach and, talk about. What's the most important out of everything that you do? Everything that you can just put your hand on one thing and encourage the audience with today.
Hello, I can go. Your audience can see today, and they are witness in how everyone here in this room, in this call, everyone overcome in different ways. the same. Pain, lack, and all these limiting beliefs. So if your audience can take with them that is possible, that is your own way, but we have the tools, and that's why is you have all these beautiful books who are everyone is sharing. Plus, for example, in our novel, that's why the characters are passing in this process, and they teach you how to use the tools. So hope is here and it's possible to do it. Is what I think that this beautiful room is doing right now. Is we can do it. Is easy, difficult at the beginning, wherever you are, is messy, easy, doesn't matter, but it's possible. And when you arrive there, it's absolutely incredible. So please go and do it.
Yeah, that's the key, right? That is the key. No matter how we do it, just do it. That's it. Messy, not linear, sideways, on the ground, in the air, however we want to
Dancing,
do it.
no
Just do it.
dancing. Yes, do it.
I think that one of the things that we mention in our book is, and the way that we set up the story, is that they go to this place and there's all sorts of different modalities of healing, because you never really know how and when healing is going to happen. You may be sitting under a tree and the breeze hits you, and all of a sudden you have this moment of introspection that changes the way you think and address something. Or you may have to walk through fire, figuratively or literally, right? So you never really know. And there's probably 7 billion different ways of doing things in this planet, simply because each one of us is so absolutely different. The call to action is that look for your answers. Most of us, if not all of us, know what the answer is for each of the challenges and questions that we are trying to figure out. We come equipped with both the question and the answer. The problem is we've forgotten, and we're trying to remember, and we're trying to experience again. So the call to action is that look for whatever it is that gives you joy and brings that vibration up, because as you rise in that vibration, different things become apparent. It's almost like you climb the ladder and you're like, oh, I see better from the higher step. And so,
and clear.
And much clearer, because you have a better vantage point. And so continue doing that and you will find it. And it may be different from you, but do not give up. Keep trying, keep looking. It will appear.
That's beautiful. Thank you so much. Thank you. Kevin, you want to go?
Yeah. I have a thought I want to offer on healing that I've seen in my life. There's an expression I like that says, "Strong tribes save lives." We tend to heal in community. At least with addiction recovery, many people say the opposite of addiction is connection, community. Find your tribe. And or tribes. It's multiple too. We all can be part of different communities. I have found for me that overcoming trauma, and I had trauma that led to this addiction, and the addiction itself was traumatic. When you find like-minded people, your tribe, you can let your guard down, and you can be vulnerable, and you know that you have, as Rowan put it, a family of choice. You have people in your life, in addition to potentially your family of origin, that you can get support from. So I guess what I would leave with people is, even the hardest trauma, the hardest addictions can be overcome. Recovery is possible. And for me, what that means is, as I put it, strong tribes save lives.
That's beautiful. Thank you. That's really beautiful. Thank you. All right. What do you got, Justin?
So my perspective is actually a little bit of the opposite. I kind of found that I was able to do better healing when I eliminated tribes personally. I move better as as an individual. I don't like large circles. I don't really enjoy many people. So I kind of found that I was able to heal more effectively alone. And in conjunction with sitting within my writing, um, it helped me move past some of the trauma which I had caused myself, I think. I mean, there was trauma from outsiders, but I was sort of, that wasn't weighing super heavily on me. The weight was more about what I was doing to myself. So sitting in isolation and working while creating, while being artistic, and while writing was able to help me, and is still able to help me get through a lot of past traumatic situations. So, you know, so I know I need to move kind of alone for the most part. I don't want a tribe around me.
All right. Okay. That's okay. Like, you do what you do, you know, you really do what you do. Thank you. Thank you, Justin. I want to thank all of my guests here today that have been part of Keeping It Real on Purpose, and they've come on and trusted me with their story because they didn't have to. I am so very proud to know them. They've been a great addition in my life. And like I always tell you, audience, the story doesn't just come to you, it comes to me first. And it's probably mostly for me. So I really thank my guests for being here today and just always being around. I mean, they could have said no, but they decided to come back on. And audience, thank you for being there, because without you, we wouldn't be around. So check out the chat in the comments section here. We have everyone's name, how you can contact them, what books they've written. And if you need to ask them any questions about anything they do, please do so and share this around. I want you to like, I want you to subscribe, and I want you to share this around. You will see this around on Instagram. You'll see it on LinkedIn. You'll also see it on TikTok. So, you know, I want you to really share this around, because it's great when all of us can come together and have agree to disagree, and even just share what we know and pour into one another, because we're better for being with you. So we want to thank you for that. So that wraps up another reunion episode on Keeping Real on Purpose. You just heard the real, the raw, and the now from all these beautiful guests who refuse to settle for surface level. We don't do sound bites, we do souls. If the truth hit you somewhere deep, share this episode and tag a real one who needs to hear it. Until the next time, and I want you guests to stay on, don't go anywhere, but all the audience, until the next time, thank you for showing up, and keep showing up. Keep healing out loud, and as always, keep it real, all on purpose. Bye for now.